My name is Bob, and I have a hearing loss problem. It was winter, and as often happens in winter, I developed a head cold and thought nothing about it. I assumed that the head cold would go away, but when it didn't clear, I visited the doctor to see if he could help me, and the specialist confirmed that I had had a sudden sensory neural hearing loss, which meant that my hearing would be impaired on a permanent basis. I lost about 60 to 70% of my hearing almost overnight. When I was first affected by my hearing loss, the world that I once knew changed forever. I actually run sound for different events. I'm a sound engineer. I record sound. I'm an actor. Sound is my world. When I first put the hearing aid in, it was like wearing a sock in your ear. You have to remember that the hearing aid just amplifies everything. People don't really understand. You see, they just say, turn your hearing aid up, forgetting that it will turn up the level of conversation, but it will also turn up the level of plates clanking and knives and forks being dropped or banged on a table, or the hum of conversation everywhere else. Everything goes up, and eventually that becomes overload, and it's hard to handle it. I felt a little left out. I felt a little alienated. I felt that I could not engage properly. I was being bombarded with sound from all over, and it was difficult to distinguish the sounds that I wanted to hear from the sounds I didn't want to hear. I mean, most of what we do in life relies upon us being able to hear sound, but some things are a little more specific. In my case, specifically playing music, specifically mixing sound, specifically recording, specifically being in the theater, being on the stage, directing or something, I need to be able to hear and hear well. I'd heard about hearing loop systems, but I hadn't paid much attention to them because it had never been necessary for me to have to deal with them. Until now, of course. Now, a hearing loop system wirelessly transmits audio sound right into my hearing aid, or into anybody's hearing aid. I discovered that my church had installed a hearing loop system, and I remember the day that I first tried out the system. I flicked on my switch, and immediately there was this crystal clear sound right into my ear. The difference was really quite remarkable. Crystal clear sound right into my ear, and the thing that I really noticed was that the distraction of other sounds was now taken away. It was a very personal, intimate sound that I was receiving in my ears. No other conversation, no other noise, no shuffling sounds. It was just the direct signal straight into my ear. Quite remarkable. I was extremely grateful that the church had taken the step to have the system installed. I think as people, we don't necessarily like to announce the fact that we are different. The beauty about the loop is that it's very discreet. People can barely notice that I wear a hearing aid, and I'm also wearing the capability of receiving the loop. Nothing changes. I don't look different. I don't wear headphones. I don't announce my disability. I just get the sound. Probably 70% of all hearing aids are fitted already with a T-coil. The beauty about a loop system is that there's no limit on how many T-coils can be within the loop. It can be 100, it can be 200 people, all with a hearing loss, switch on their T-coil, everybody will get the signal. The signal does not diminish. It's like turning on a radio. It doesn't matter how many people are in the room, everybody will hear the same signal. I'm astonished to find that there are very few places here in Canada that have hearing loop systems. and they're so important to me on a personal level. Now I don't feel as different because nobody knows anyway. Now I feel like I can engage properly and productively. It's so different because I now get clarity of sound and I get it right into my ear. It's for me. It's kind of like personal. It's just for me. And I can hear clearly what's going on. I can concentrate on the speaker at the front. I don't have to worry. Installing a hearing loop system in your building will re-engage people who may have already opted out because they can't feel engaged. The hearing loop system brings them back into the fold, so to speak. They will re-engage. It will change their experience, make it positive, pleasant, affirming, and it will bring them into a different experience. When I walk into a space and I see that sign that tells me there's a loop system installed and that I should turn on my T-coil, I just think, wonderful. I know I'm going to be able to hear.